and friends just can't be found like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay
Love's in the air everywhere I look around. Love's in the air, every sight and every sound. And I don't know if I'm being foolish, don't know if I'm being wise, but it's something that I must believe in, and it's there when I look in your Love's in the air, in the whisper of the trees. Love is in the air, and the thunder of the seas. And I don't know if I'm just dreaming, don't know if I feel sane, but it's something that I must believe in, and it's there when you call out my name. Something that I must believe in, and it's there when I look in your eyes. Love is in the air, and the rising of the sun. Love is in the air when the day is nearly done. Love's in the air. Love's in the air.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, welcome to the show. Love is in the air, you see. You never know what you're breathing these days, do you? No, fresh air is a very valuable thing. Do you know, I knew this one woman who doted on her son so much, she used to open his windows to make sure he got plenty of fresh air and shut her own so that she'd not use up the supply. Mind you, she was a bit overpowering. In fact, one day she said to him, she said, "Now, it's your birthday tomorrow. Now, why don't you invite all your little friends round and we'll have a party? You can have potted meat sandwiches and jelly and custard and ice cream, and I'll make some animal biscuits, and let's see if you can blow all your candles out in one go." He said, "Mother, I'm 34. She said, "We'll make it a fancy dress party if you like." Now, I'd have jumped at that. Oh, do you know, I love fancy dress do's. I went to a smashing fancy dress party the other week, where the invitation said, "Come in a military outfit." So I wore a white body stocking, covered myself with a thin layer of brown boot polish, and went as a Marmite soldier. I felt a bit silly, really. But you know, I was sitting there all on my own, and this good-looking chap, he came up to me and he said, "Would you like to dance?" I said, "Oh, yes." He said, "Oh, well, you'll not be needing your chair then." So, actually, he was a Scots chap. He looked fabulous, he did. He went with his kilt on upside down and went as a shuttlecock. Mind you, he didn't win. The fellow... Oh, they've woke up on the back row. No, the fella who won, actually, he was an Indian chap. He looked really good. He went in an ankle-length turban and won first prize as a walnut whip. Yeah. No, but she said to him, she said, "Listen, have a little party." She said, "You can play pass the parcel, and you can have balloons and paper hats." He says, "Look, Mum," he said, "I'm a responsible businessman and a very keen Rotarian." He said, "And I'm sick of being treated like a child." He said, "I'm leaving." And so saying, he went upstairs, packed his case and walked out. 3 minutes later, he's back. She said, "I thought you'd left." He said, "I fell down." But he did get away eventually. He ran away to sea, which was, well, quite unusual for him because, well, he wasn't the type, you know, not adventurous at all. He was very unworldly. He used to get embarrassed crossing the road every time the Belisha beacons flashed. But what he did was he enlisted on a cruise liner called the HMS Colander. But unfortunately, it sank on his first trip. He was washed up on this desert island, the only survivor. Oh, it was awful. There was hardly anything to live on, just gulls' eggs and rainwater. And sometimes he'd dig for clams. He tried to escape once because a lifeboat appeared one high tide and he broke it up to try and build a raft, but... Well, you know, he was no good with his hands, so he went back to digging clams, and then after about 20 years he decided to investigate the island. You know, just in case there was any life around the other side. I mean, he'd have felt really silly, wouldn't he, if there had been a Butlins holiday camp round the beach. So what he did, he went round the island. And to his delight and amazement, guess what? On the other side, he saw this lovely little cave with smoke curling out of the chimney and curtains at the windows and everything, and a little veggie garden in front, and this gorgeous blonde in a skimpy frock was standing at the gate waving to him like that, all lustful and pursed up. He rushed up and he said, "I don't believe it." He said, "How long have you been here?" She said, "Ever since the HMS Colander went down." Well, it turned out they'd both been on the same ship 20 years ago. Well, he looked at her and he guessed she couldn't have been more than a teenager then because, well, now she was a good 38, you know, which played havoc with his clam digger. But anyway, she took him into the house and sat him down before the coal fire, and she said to him, she said, "I bet I know what you want. How about a nice cup of tea?" He said, "You've not got tea, have you?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "I rescued a lot of stuff when the ship sank." Whoa. Honestly, would you like a piece of fruitcake or some cheese? Well, do you know, he were in seventh heaven. He thought all his birthdays had come at once. It was wonderful. She said, "Have you been here for the past 20 years all alone?" He said, "Yes." I used to dream of finding a man Friday. She said, I have that dream every day of the week. In fact... Don't we all? In fact... I've got something for you. And I bet you've been dreaming of this for the last 20 years. Something you thought you'd never see again. He said, don't tell me you've got a chip pan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my first guest. Actually, you'll have seen him in one of my shows before. Well, you'll have seen his hands, but now you're going to see the rest of him. Mr. David Snell, his harp and his trio, and that touch of velvet.
Hello, I've come about the job.
Oh, yes, I think you'll do fine. Would you get ready, please?
Thank you.
Thank you. What do you think to the dress? Nice, aren't they, these? I wish they'd take coat hangers out, though. I do. Actually, the fella who made this for me, he made me wedding dress for Orgy. I can remember my wedding day as if it were yesterday. Wish it were tomorrow, I won't go. No. No, I've got nothing against marriage. I think it's, I really do. I think it's wonderful. In fact, I had a fairy tale wedding. Grim. Yeah. No, they were this Scots couple got married just before us. You could tell they were Scots because the confetti was on elastic. But gee, I think that's a load of eyewash, that, you know. I've never yet met a mean Scotsman, but I have met a mean Yorkshireman. In fact, our floor manager, he's a Yorkshireman. Only breathes in. Mean. And I'll tell you something else about Yorkshiremen. There's a lot of villains amongst them. Have you heard about this Robert Mugabe? Do you know he was a Yorkshireman? I'll tell you how, because you know his name, Mugabe? Well, if you spell it backwards, it says E by gum. So, anyway, oh, a ripple. No, but as I was saying, you know, it's not always the happiest day of a girl's life is her wedding day. Do you remember, girls, your wedding morning? Your mother comes into your bedroom with a cup of tea, doesn't she? And she says, "Wake up! It's the happiest day of your life." You think, great. Clint Eastwood's moved into the back bedroom. But your mother disillusions you. She says, "No, it's your wedding day." And that's when those nagging little doubts creep into your mind. I mean, let's be honest, it's not really your happiest day always, is it? But it is your parents' happiest day. I mean, your mother, she's bought a new outfit that wasn't in the sale. And your father's pouring whiskey on his cornflakes. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to put you in a long white dress with a tight skirt so that you can't make a run for it. And they're going to marry you off to a fella who you're suddenly sure the only thing you have in common with is that neither of you like going to work. You're going to get a short ride in the same motor car that you went to your Auntie Ethel's funeral in. And your father goes with you so that you don't pass any getaway notes to the driver. And you get to the church, don't you? And they're playing Mendelssohn's Wedding March, and you distinctly ask for something by Pink Floyd. And there's your knight in shining mohair. It's funny how you'd never noticed that his knuckles actually touched the ground before. And the alcohol content of his breath has killed his buttonhole. And he looks so ill, you wonder whether you've come to marry him or identify the body. Yeah, well, you see, he's been up all night, hasn't he? Celebrating in his own sophisticated way, you know, setting fire to the litter bins in the high street. And his hair's gone grey where somebody's hit him with a bag of concrete. And he limps slightly from where he fell out of the police car. You meet, a tender whispered word through the veil. Your flies are undone. And there's his mother, looking radiantly happy because she's let his room. And all his friends are there, every one of them a tree swinger, sitting with the probation officers they are. From now on, girls, there's no escape. Nobody's going to run up that house shouting, "Quick, the Russians have invaded Rotherham." You're stuck, you've had it. And if you denounce him as a convicted Fulham supporter, it won't make the slightest bit of difference. Before you know it, you're kneeling there saying a prayer. "Please, God, don't let my knees crack so loud when I stand up." And you're wondering whether you've left the sale price on the bottom of your shoes. And then there's all them wedding presents. The toasters, the saucepans. Oh, I hope he likes boiled toast. Thousands of pairs of sheets. I'll tell you something, girls. If you get a lot of sheets from his side of the family, hard luck, kid, you've got yourself a bedwetter. And then... and then there's all that advice. Now, always listen to good advice, like when his mother tells you he's got a weak chest. I mean, remember that one. You'll know where to hit him when you have your first fight. Then there's the reception. Hey, the co-op did ours. Oh, do you know, they did a lovely job. Ham sandwiches with crust cut off and things. And as a table centrepiece, they had my mother's head done in coleslaw. Oh. Then off you go to your honeymoon hotel, carrying your own suitcase so that you look as though you've been married for years, you know, like that. And then there's that embarrassing business of trying to get undressed, or even indressed, even. I don't know. But what you usually do is you try to get undressed daintily for the first time in front of him, don't you? I remember standing in a sort of subtle, moonlit corner of the room, and, do you know, I was just taking my socks off. And he says, "Come away from window. If anybody sees you, you'll think I've married you for your money." Oh. But you can always try a second honeymoon, 20 years or so, after. Some friends of mine did. They returned to the same hotel, and it was lovely, ever so romantic. And the manager said, would you like the bridal suite? To which she giggled, well, actually, we've been married 20 years. He says, well, you can have the use of the ballroom, but there's no need to dance. They don't mind.
My father sits at home with no lights on. His cigarette glows in the dark. The living room is still. I walk by, no remark. I tiptoe past the master bedroom where my mother reads her magazine. I hear her call sweet dreams, but I forget how to dream. And you say it's time we moved in together and raised a family of our own, you and me. Well, that's the way I've always heard it should be. You want to marry me. We'll marry. You say that we can keep our love alive. Babe, all I know is what I see. The couples cling and claw and drown in love's debris. You say we'll soar like two birds through the clouds, but soon you'll cage me on your shell. I'll never learn to be just me first by myself. And you say it's time we moved in together and raised a family of our own, you and me. Well, that's the way I've always heard it should be. You want to marry me. We'll marry.
What on earth is this?
It's game soup.
And what in the world is this?
Steak and chips.
And what's for dessert?
Mousse. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is a real superstar, an ex-Supreme. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome the supreme singing talent of Miss Mary Wilson?
It's time to pick up the pieces. Let's start all over again. It's time to forget about the bad times. I don't want our relationship to end. You and I, we can lie in the park after dark and watch the stars in the sky. There's no reason why we can't make it. It's time to put it all together. We can do it. Oh, yes, we can. We got to pick up the pieces. Let's start by taking each other's hands. Can't you see, you and me, we can be happy. Let's try. 'Cause there's no reason why we can't make it. When I think of all the time we've wasted, ooh, it tears me apart. And oh, the bitterness we've tasted, ooh, it breaks my heart. Said I know
Thank you. Oh, the supreme Miss Mary Wilson. Fabulous. Do you know, isn't it funny what you read? I've just been reading about a friend of mine who lost her husband in tragic circumstances in January. Well, it wasn't so much lost, it was more mislaid. Yeah. Yeah, well, you see, she took him to the first day of the winter sales at C&A. Have you ever been? Well, if you've never been to the winter sales at C&A, it's rather like a cross between a Ring Commander's assault course and a British Railways buffet car on a Manchester United football excursion. Well, of course, you see, the poor man wasn't up to him, and the last she saw of him was his little head bobbing up and down like a hairy snooker ball between a bargain in surgical stockings and silk cami knickers with 50% off. Sounds like a snip if you don't mind a draft. No, that's not true, actually. No, what actually happened was he got drunk in an Australian bar in the Earl's Court, pulled a boomerang off the wall and swallowed it, and the barman had to throw him out 53 times before he could get rid of it. But finally, he came back to her and he brought her a pig as a peace offering. Now, I know it's an unusual peace offering present, but, well, she got quite attached to this pig. And when it was about 3 years old, she said to her husband, she said, you know, I think that pig's lonely. Yeah, I think it's time she went in for a family. So her husband put the pig in his wheelbarrow and he wheeled it 20 miles to the nearest farm where they got a gentleman pig, you see. And he said, I've brought my sow to be sired. And the farmer said, fine, that'll be £25. He said, £25? He said, that's expensive, isn't it? The farmer says, yeah, but think how well off you'll be if it takes. He said, if? What do you mean, if? Is there no guarantee? And the farmer said, oh, no. He said, you can't interfere with nature. He said, well, how will I know whether it's taken or not? He said, well, it's dead easy. He said, if you get up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock and look through your bedroom window, if she's jumping up and down in the field, you'll know it's taken. But if she's lying down eating daisies, well, it hasn't. So the next morning, he looked out of his bedroom window and she were laying down eating daisies. So he put her back in his wheelbarrow, wheeled her another 20 miles and had another £25 worth. The next morning, he looked out of his window and she was laying down eating daisies again. Oh, he were right fed up. Oh. Thank you. So he thinks, well, I'll have one last go and that's it. So he put her back in his wheelbarrow, wheeled her another 20 miles and had a last £25 worth. The next morning he woke his wife up and he said, listen, Florence, which upset her because her name was Mabel. He said, listen, look out of the bedroom window, will you, and tell me what the pig's doing. Is she lying down eating daisies? His wife says, no. Oh, he said, is she jumping up and down in the field? His wife says, no. He said, what's she doing? His wife says, she's sitting in the barrow.
Down in my soul, I hate rock and roll, and I don't like the way them drummers beat on them drums. They always hum along out of tune, but I can see Valentino and me when I hear a tango. Electric guitars have gone about as far as electric guitars can go. If you're talking about loud man, the one thing I can't stand. Oh, you can go down a hole with your sweet rock and roll. I'll take a tango. Rock and roll, there's a whole lot of noise, but the tango divides the men from the boys. You just hold on tight, get it going all through the night, fly your kite, and I can see Valentino and me when I hear a tango.
come up and sway me sometime. Down in my soul, I hate rock and roll, and I don't like the way them drummers beat on them drums. They always hum along at a tune, but I can see Valentino and me when I hear a tango. Yeah, I can see old Rudy and me when I hear a tango. Well, I can see Valentino and me when I hear a tango. Boy, we made it to the top. We went so high we couldn't stop. We climbed the ladder leading us nowhere. Two of us together, building castles in the air. We spun so fast we couldn't tell the gold ring from the carousel. How could we know the ride would turn out bad? Everything we wanted was everything we had. I miss the hungry years, the once upon a time, the lovely long ago. We didn't have a dime. Those days of me and you, we lost along the way. How could I be so glad not to see the door closing on the world I now hunger for? Looking through my tears, I miss the hungry years. We shared our daydreams one by one. Making plans was so much fun. We'd set our goals and reach the highest star. Things that we were after were much better from afar. Now here we stand, just me and you, with everything and nothing to. It wasn't worth the price we had to pay. Honey, take me home. Let's go back to yesterday. I miss the hungry years, the once upon a time, the lovely long ago. We didn't have a dime. Those days of me and you, we lost along the way. How could I be so blind not to see the door
looking through my tears. I miss